The Highlander's Promise. Highland Destinies. By Aileen Adams. Chapter 1. Dead. Duran's dead, Myrnella whispered, reminding herself. Staring, yet not seeing out of the paned glass, Myrnella had to remind herself that her husband was not here. Duran was not here. He would not be hustling throughout the tavern, the way he so often did. There was a silence that now filled her world, silence that had once been a liveliness that consumed her days. The corners of Myrnella's mouth tilted upwards, as the memories flowed through her mind. There must always be noise. Ye cannae help but fill the silence, can ye? Myrnella had shaken her head, while chuckling at Duran. Was that only a few months ago? It seemed like at any moment he would come bursting through the doors, whistling and singing all the way. "'Tis a beautiful morning with a beautiful lass. Might as well add some music to the moment, aye?" Duran had replied as he continued humming. He had placed a chaste kiss on her cheek, then moved to set a pile of papers on the counter, before carrying on to the next chore, sweeping and wiping down the tables. That stack of papers had perched in the same place, not touched by hands or humming for weeks. There was a deep ache in Myrnella's chest as she was reminded why that was. Images of the day that changed her for the rest of her life began to crowd her vision. An orange-breasted robin flitted into the windowsill, cutting off Myrnella's thoughts. The bird tilted his head this way and that, as if he could sense Myrnella's need for company, as if he could see her heartache. A soft greeting chirped from the robin as she took in the bird. The copper-toned feathers looked so like Duran's own copper hair. Both the bird and the man shared coloring that turned to spun gold in the sunlight. The similarity in hue made the young widow avert her eyes, away from the window that framed the bird. The downward glance filled her gaze with the pile of dishes in her sink, and served as a reminder that she had work to do. Her fingers plunged in the deep tub full of soapy water, pruning as she finished cleaning last night's dishes. Normally before closing, she would clean the place top to bottom, getting it ready for the next day. There was something satisfying in knowing everything was in its place, before crawling in bed for night. But lately, she was too exhausted by the time the last of the night's patrons left. Every hour in her day had become so packed, most days she was just trying to keep her head on straight. By nightfall, she could hardly get herself to climb the steps to her room, let alone tackle the chores. And so, quite the to-do list now awaited her every morning. Long before anyone else was awake, she had been elbows deep in dishwater. With a steadying breath, Myrnella trudged through the last of the dishes, drying them with the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?